Hey everyone! If you are like me and you're wondering if you should be pulling for Varesa, but you are an F2P player and you are saving whatever little amount of money you have on a future character, in my case Shilolen, then look no further. This video is for you. If you are an aesthetic girly more than a meta girly, kind of like me, then 10 on 10 I recommend you should pull for her. As a standalone character, I think her design is very cute. Even her animations, they're very well done. And I would say her world exploration is also very good. She can fast travel from one point to another. She can also run on water. So here's some of my reasons why I think you should pull for her. Number 1, she's a cow who needs to pretend to be a cow. Why else is she making finger horns? Why are you doing that? You literally have your own horns! Number 2, she wipes her butt after she sits on you. I mean, hygiene, I guess? Number 3, for all my men who loves their tsundere girlfriends, she also has an alter ego. Number 4, and in my opinion the best part, you can parkour. I really had fun jumping off cliffs. You can literally get 0 to none fall damage when you're just falling off like this. She just rolls around, bounces back, and you're on your way again. It's super fun. And I bet you can also do some more fun stuff while you're exploring, like jumping from one cliff to another. I think this has a lot of potential when it comes to world exploration. Last but not least, I want to do a special shout out to her weapon. It's very cute, it's very girly pop, it's very Sailor Moon-esque. And if you know this Valorant skin here, you'll see that it's very similar to design, or at least in my opinion. So like, it's very cute. Okay, you don't care about what looks cute, what's aesthetic, everything looks the same to you, and you just want to know if she will be the next big thing like Mavuika, if she will be the new meta. You just want to talk big numbers, then here is also a kit breakdown for you. So Varesa has 2 forms. One is her normal form and then her fiery state, which you get once you accumulate Night Soul points up to 40. And in her fiery state, the damage scaling for her charge attack, plunges, and ultimate are all different. And I will be showing some sample clips to elaborate on what I mean. The first clip is a plunge in her normal state where she's hitting a decent 32k. And the second one is her fiery state. By the way, you can tell that by this bat symbol on her. And she hits a 60k, which is twice as much damage than normal. Again, for her ult, if you use it when you are not in fiery stage, then you'll do something like this, a damage. And if you do get into fiery stage and if you have your Night Soul points maxed out, then you'll do way more damage than the initial one that you just saw. So like 37k here. But then if we move on from this and if we go to doing a plunge attack or an ult when our Night Soul points are at a 0 or null, then you're doing this damage, which is around 50k. For the next phase of the video, we get down to the numbers and scaling of these damages and why we are seeing what numbers. From what I've gathered so far, or by now everyone knows already, her playstyle will be plunge attack play. And her attack rotation will loop from elemental skill to charge attack to plunge and then elemental skill again and then repeat, which would look something like this. If we look at her passive, she releases an extra shockwave, which is amplified by 50% in her normal state and 180% in her fairy state, which is why you should press E first. Um, Even other than that, the follow up charged attack requires no stamina when you press E first. And once you do one elemental skill damage and then plunge immediately after in her normal state, you can enter into her fairy state, where the plunge attack damage is way more than her normal state. Now, if you're like me and you're thinking, what other plunge character is there to compare her attack scaling against, which is obviously Shao, I do have a damage scaling comparison between the two of them. And here it is. To be fair to Shao, this is not a good apples to apples comparison because he does do more consecutive plunges during his ult versus Varesa, she has to enter her Fury Passion state and it's not permanent. She has to re enter it again. But the other thing is, Varisa might do more damage because she is an electro character, whereas Shao is an animal character. She has more potential to do more reactions, which will amplify her damage output more, if that makes sense. For her ult, there is three versions of it. The first one being the normal state one, where you do a flying kick, which does 522% damage. Whereas if you're in your Fury state and you do the same ult with Night Soul points maxed out, then you get 920% of the damage. And if your Night Soul points are at 0, then you do 644%. But the thing is, we saw that the Volcano Kablam actually did more damage, and that's because it also counts as a plunge attack, and we know the plunge scaling for this character is the most. So I think the Volcano Kablam is the best option amongst these three. Ending off this section with how do you want to level her talents, you should go with normal attack first, obviously, because plunge character, then her ult, and lastly her elemental skill. It doesn't really matter because the only reason you are using the elemental skill is to buff her normal attack. Okay, we have yapped a lot, so let's talk teams now. For Varesa, the first team I would suggest is like an overload team with Mavuika. And I know that's a weird choice, okay? I'm saying that's a weird choice. But there is no pyro support currently. That's why I'm saying Mavuika. And then secondly, I would go for Nahida of course, because a quicken team is like massive damage. But then you would have to use Yansan because you do need a Natlan character in the team, and I'll get into why. And lastly, if you want to buff her plunge more, then you would play somebody like the Cloud Retainer. And again, you would need to play Yansan with that team. Getting into why you should have a Natlan character in the team when you're playing her, she's kind of similar to what we saw for Mavuika. If another character does Night Soul Burst, then her attack increases by 35%. So like if you want to use her full potential, the same as Mavuika, you would want to play her with another Natlan character. Which is why if you have just DPS characters from Natlan like me, I have Kinich and Mavuika, don't pull for Varesa. And if you have limited wishes, just go for like a support character. Because I think it would be a dumb decision on your part if you just pulled for another DPS, because it's not really helping your team at all. So wait for Shilolen. Her banner is coming soon, I think. And that's what I'm doing at least. But at the end of the day, who am I to tell you what you need to do? If you think Varesa is cute and you want to pull for her, go for it. It doesn't really matter. Listen to no one. I have even seen people build Sijuin and then like hand her a machine gun, and then she goes pra pra pra, and then she does so much damage, which is like crazy to me. So you know what, do whatever you want. Okay, so conclusion, she's very cute. I'm not gonna get into politics. If you guys want me to talk some politics and my personal opinion or personal rant on her design, not as a standalone, but in comparison to other characters in Genshin, then leave a comment. I will make a whole separate video on my rant. Number two, probably not the next big thing like Mavuika. I don't think in terms of damage scaling she will actually cross Mavuika. I hope I'm not wrong, but she will be like somewhat, I mean, you will probably see a lot of videos where people are making like throwing out huge numbers, but then again, like I said with the Sijuin example, you'll see that for anyone and everyone, so you don't need to beat yourself up over it. Just don't need to pull her for those numbers, if that makes sense. Which comes to our third point, live your life the way you want to. Like if you think this is the cutest character you have ever seen, get her. Like I rolled for Kazuha when nobody cared for Kazuha because I loved his design. And then he turned out to be the best thing ever. So, like, you know what? Just listen to your heart, okay? Don't listen to us. Listen to your heart. Anyway, this was a very different format of a video. I hope you guys like this sort of stuff as well, like more informative and less, I don't know, less funny, more informative, and less gameplay. But I will be back with my gameplay ones as well, and a few more challenges. I have written them down, so there's a couple of videos planned. Anyways, okay, that's it from me today. Bye bye.